the bride was making a speech today. Very glad to look on behalf of my wife, Mrs. I'd like to thank Alan for those kind words. Without Alan and Christine, this wonderful wedding we've had today wouldn't have happened. And it's absolutely amazing to have such lovely parents-in-law. Oh. I'd like to thank Nancy's family for always making me feel part of their family. Christine and Alan at the head of the family are kindness itself. And at the heart of the family, 4 beautiful and amazing sisters who do anything for each other and anything for anyone in the family. They're the rock on which the family stands, and each of them has done so much to make today happen. I'd particularly like to thank Emily for the beautiful wedding cake that she's made. Nancy helped a little bit. It's been a labour of love over many hours and wonderful. I'd also like to thank Darren for always being there to help us, especially when there's car breakdowns. And with my lovely wife Nancy, there's always lots of car breakdowns. So I've always felt welcome in Nancy's family. In spite of the Scouser jokes, they never get old, do they, Roy? or the "you're not our real uncle until you're married" comments from Luke, Eve and Jasmine. What can I say about my own family, the Watsons? Except that it's made our day complete to have all our family here today and to have travelled so far. Even my legendary Uncle Phil has taken time off from his tobacco import business to be with us today. We Watsons are a volatile, intense and an opinionated lot. Not me, of course. We've had our ups and downs, but the ups, the highs are magnificent and the lows are just gaps in between. We've shared so many wonderful experiences. My brother and sister and I had wonderful parents in Pat and Billy, and with our cousins, we shared the most amazing grandparents in Rosie and Bill. My wife, Mrs. Watson, and I are deeply grateful to the way my family have taken Nancy to their hearts. And what can I say about our mothers? Christine has been the engine and driving force behind this wedding, and is a truly lovely person. I'm privileged to be a son-in-law. Pat, my mum, is incredible. She brought up children for over 40 years. First their own 4 children, plus Paul, our foster brother. And then when my sister Jan died, she brought up Kerry and Louise. She does an incredible job. And even now, age 50, as an old bloke, I feel she still takes care of me. She makes sure I never miss a souvenir edition of the Liverpool Echo. Or the latest booklet on old Liverpool, which she knows I love. Yeah? I still feel even now that I'm learning more about my mum and what an incredible character she is. And the more I learn, the more I admire and love her. Thank you. I want to thank our bridesmaid, who looked absolutely stunning today and did an amazing job supporting Nancy. From the practice this morning, I knew that you guys had to be absolutely amazing. And I'd like to propose a toast to our bridesmaids. So please, ladies and gentlemen, raise your glasses and toast bridesmaids.
Bridesmaids.
Girls, Eve, Jasmine, Molly, Jess, Abby and Gemma, the work's not finished today because your true work is in making sure that the dance floor's full all night. And there's no sitting down. And if you spot anyone who hasn't had a dance, you get them, guys, yeah? Especially Kaz and Sam. They're particularly looking forward to dancing lots with you. Yeah, it's traditional to mention absent friends who can't be with us today. The people whose presence would have made today even more special. feel they are with us here today. And that's what really matters, in the way that really matters. They're in our hearts. It sounds corny, but nothing is truer. For Nancy, I think that her Nan Ivy is who she most wishes were here today. She dearly loved Ivy and talks about her often. And we visit Ivy's grave a couple of times a year. One snowy day we were standing outside the grave and I lost my footing and fell flat on my back in slushy snow. And Nancy killed herself laughing and said that that's the best time that Ivy's had in the past 10 years. For me, I'd give my right arm for my dad Billy to be here with us today, to have one more pint with him. But his voice is always in my head, and the memories of the times we shared make me laugh every day. It was Billy who brought me down south 25 years ago. He said something like, let's go down to the smoke and get some work in the building game. He went a couple of days before me, and he got sorted, and as I arrived on the coach at Victoria Station, he met me. It was a lovely sunny day, and I stepped off, and my old dad was there to meet me. And he said, great news, son. I've got you a job, and you start tomorrow. Brilliant, I said. Oh, and your name's Frank Fagan, and my name is Mick Fagan, so we can still sign on. It's true. It was a great job, and it took me 6 months to get my own name back. But my sister Jan is sorely missed. She died tragically young of complications from chickenpox, but she left 2 beautiful daughters. Kerry can't be with us today. She's recovering from chickenpox. She's good, but she can't make it here today. But Louise is here with her boyfriend Chris. Louise is the double of her mum, and so I know our Jan's here with us today. She would have been so proud of her girls. So, ladies and gentlemen, please raise your glasses to absent friends.
Absent friends.
I want to say a few words about Nancy, my beloved wife. Nancy. Where do I start? She's unique, and I don't know where I'd be without her. We met through a friend, Georgie. Nancy and Georgie were walking through the town park on a day when the town show was on, and we stopped and met bravely. From then on, I think Georgie was trying to make the match. We all went to Chicago's on Georgie's birthday. I remember talking to Nancy. I couldn't hear what she was saying because the noise was so loud there. But I heard the music in her voice, and it was simple and sweet and beautiful. Yes. I believe I've said that many times. We went on our first date to a Greek restaurant in Bel Air, where Nancy just pushed the dinner all around the plate. And I tried to be funny. We held hands walking out of the restaurant. I was bowled over by Nancy, and it wasn't long before we were spending all the time we could with each other. After a few months of dating, Nancy went on holiday to the Dominican Republic for a week with Sophie and Alison. You remember that?
Oh, yes.
It was absolute torture for me. The first time I was away from her, and for you guys. I couldn't be a bear to be apart from her. And on the day she returned, I rushed to half-price jewellery. And I bought an engagement ring for 20 odd quid. It was worth at least 40 quid, but I got it half price. I met Nancy straight from the airport. She looked stunning. She'd been sunbathing in the Caribbean under some palm fronds, or she'd been using a special zebra tanning lotion. Because she had stripes of white, and stripes of tan, and even more stripes of burn. She looked stunning. I said, let's go for a walk in the town park. And I took her to the place we first met, on the exact spot, and I proposed to her. She said yes, but that was 7.5 years ago. And I've been a bit slow in getting today. But here we are.